Homage watches are a very controversial topic. Some say that they're just a replica watch with different branding on the dial, but others swear by them and they don't see the point in spending tens of thousands of dollars on a watch when you could buy something that looks exactly like it for a fraction of the cost. Hey, in fact, you can buy a whole entire collection of them. Take this Pagani Design PD1639 watch for example. It costs less than a Seiko 5 and you get specs that you would find in a $350 plus watch. I was skeptical to say the least. I was not a fan of homage watches, and to get all those specs for 73 bucks, it just seemed too good to be true. I've been a huge fan of my Seiko SKX for a long time, and I'm not saying this watch compares to an SKX in quality or in heritage, but it does give it a run for its money. In fact, on paper, it makes the SKX look very, very bad. Seiko needs to really step up their game. This watch is entirely made of 316L stainless steel. It does come with a signed screw-down crown that has a rubber gasket for added water protection. The entire watch has a mix of brushed and polished surfaces, and it's a little heavy. It does weigh in at 160 grams. And it also features this really nice ceramic unidirectional 90-click bezel. Very, very soft to turn very easily, and it does come with a nice sapphire crystal. The screw-down crown is easy to screw out, and of course, changing the date and the time is a breeze thanks to the Seiko NH35 movement that it features. However, the problem for me is when you screw down the crown, as it feels like it's rubbing against metal, and that's not a good feeling as it makes the watch feel very cheap. As you can see, this watch fits like a glove on my 6 and 7/8 inch wrist. That's equivalent to about 2.54 centimeters. The watch feels well built and it looks handsome as it borrows its aesthetics from a Rolex Submariner. The dial has a printed logo and all indices are applied in the classic Rolex pattern. Triangle at the 12 o'clock, large batoons at the 6 and 9, and circular indices everywhere else. Minute markings throughout the dial. Mercedes style hands, sapphire crystal, the Cyclops that actually works. Very, very well built, a water resistant to 100 meters, and it also features a nice display caseback exhibiting that Seiko workhorse movement. The lug width is 21 millimeters, case dimensions excluding the crown 42.3 millimeters, lug tip to lug tip 51.9 millimeters, thickness comes in at 12.9 millimeters, and the dimensions of the watch case including the crown come in at 47.1 millimeters. The oyster style bracelet measures in at 21 millimeters and it tapers down to 16 millimeters by the clasp. It's 3.6 millimeters thick and the clasp itself measures in at 8.8 millimeters. The oyster style bracelet comes with an engraving of the company logo on the clasp. It features solid links, solid end links, screws, and comes with a very well executed mill clasp that's very nicely finished. The bracelet also features an adjustable on-the-fly bracelet clasp similar to the Rolex Glide Lock Easy Link. Of course, not executed to that level, but it works. The problem for me is opening the actual clasp, as it is very difficult to open and it almost broke my nail. After opening and closing it more than 20 times, it finally became easier. Overall, the build on this bracelet is better than any entry-level Seiko watches I've handled. I love how the watch looks on the bracelet, but to make it look less Rolexy, I want to show you how it looks on different straps. Here you have it on this really nice, well-built Mora NATO strap. Then on this cool Bond NATO gray and black strap. And for those really casual days, on this really nice camel strap. And of course, to dress it up a little bit more, here you have it on this nice brown leather strap. This watch feels very hard in the lume department. It features green lume on the hands and blue lume on the indices and bezel pip. Here's the lume shot as compared to the Seiko SKX. This Pagani is far behind. Like I mentioned before, this watch is very well machined and you can tell time was spent on that CNC machine. Under a macro lens, you can appreciate all the sharp edges and the nice finishing throughout. I'm also very impressed by the logo on the crown. It's a nice touch. The selling point for me is the Seiko NH35 automatic movement. It has 24 joules, it beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour, about 6 ticks per second, it has an accuracy of -20 plus 40 seconds per day, and the power reserve is 41 hours when fully wound. Although you won't find any Geneva striping here, what you do get is a nice workhorse movement. My final thoughts on this watch are that if you have less than $100 to spend on a watch, or if you're in the market for a Rolex and want to see what it would look like on the wrist, this watch will do the job. The real question is, did I fall in love with this watch? As I did come to appreciate this watch and have a different outlook on homage watches. To me, brand heritage and company's DNA that's put into every watch is key when falling in love with a watch. Nonetheless, I do recommend this watch to anyone looking for a good beater watch. This watch does come in 5 color variations, so you can find a watch that speaks to you. I do want to remind everyone that this watch will be given away once we hit 1,000 subscribers, so help us get there. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, my friends, stay humble.